Hello and welcome to the Boys Upstairs show. This is the week whatever Super Bowl LX Super Bowl or Super Show. I'm redoing that.
Woo! No, I like it. Keep it.
All right, fine. Fine, we'll keep it. Last show of the NFL season, I fucked up the opening. Um that was my first fuck up of the year. Welcome back everyone.
Super
To
Bowl
those
60. I just looked up what LX means.
Okay, it
So
is 60. I figured there's not a lot of numerals in that one. I always thought that was weird, and I'll never forgive the NFL for Super Bowl 50, just putting the number 50 and not doing Super Bowl L. Um, that would have been pretty cool. But welcome back, everyone. Anyone who's bared with us and been here through the whole grind of the season, we appreciate it. And we try to save our best for last. This is it, guys. We got one more game of the 2025-2026 NFL season before we start from scratch and everyone has a 0-0 record again. And we come up with new takes and we talk new shit and have new segments. So enjoy it. Let's have a little fun. Only one game, so a little bit different format. I figured we'd start it off. I was going to do a season review, although we talk every single damn week about this. So we've already reviewed everything you basically could in the season. So I just wanted to take a minute to talk about this new coaching carousel because if I remember correctly, like on Black Monday, there was about four or five, maybe six openings at the head coach position, and that got all the way up to 10. They have all now been filled, 9 of 10 officially at least. Clint Kubiak could get cold feet at the last moment and say, you know what, maybe I don't want to go coach the Raiders, and maybe I want to stay competing for Super Bowls. But who knows? Looks like he's on his way there. I was texting around this panel this week a little bit saying or asking who's going to be the first one in this cycle to get canned. I will answer my own question first because I've been very excited to get this out to the public. Just because it's a very what have you done for me lately league, not what can you do for me. So to just jump right into it, and really no offense to this guy or anything, Jeff Halfley's going to get fired after a year, like it maybe two tops that we do have a lot of Southern Florida, Miami guys, West Palm on this pod. Not a ton of Dolphin fans, but a few. They really screwed the pooch over there. It felt like they fired Mike McDaniel preempt or not preemptively, but in a reaction to the Ravens firing Harbaugh, thinking they could somehow convince John Harbaugh to come to whatever dumpster fire they have going on over there. Anybody who's paying Tua Tagovailoa $100 million, you're not attracting a good head coach. And then I saw Mike LaFleur, I believe his name is, got hired by the Cardinals. That will end in 1 to 2 years' time as well. Um, and Bob Saleh will also be fired after year 2 or 3. I'll give it 3 this time, and then he will
honorable
go be the
honorable
coordinator
mention
of the
to
Niners.
yeah, probably. Honorable
Yeah, so
mention to Todd Monk in Cleveland as well.
I don't know. I kind of feel like that hire seems like sneaky good to me.
I mean, there was multiple guys from like at least two from the Rams, and I think others as well that were available in this cycle that declined head coaching interviews with the Browns, which I've never heard of that happening before. Um, and obviously Todd Monken, we remember him from Nickson's Ravens, and the lovely offense that he ran there, and then again in Los Angeles, which led to 6 points in the playoff game this year against New England. And now he's working with the Browns offense.
No,
And
that was Greg Roman in the Chargers this year.
oh yeah,
But the
they're flex.
fact that you confuse Monken and Greg Roman is not a good sign for Cleveland fans.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's a similar brand of football. But anyways, um, yeah, I don't think that that one's going to work out either. And even if they had, you know, Deshaun Watson back at full peak of his powers, Deshaun Watson, I still don't think it's going to work, just because of the Browns. But Stefanski was actually there for like 8 years, so
He
maybe
did
not that long.
say, well, Monken did say in his opening press conference that he liked getting stroked, like word for word. Said I do like getting stroked, and so does your potential
Can't,
quarterback for another year or two. So
can't blame him there. But
chemistry. Elephant in the room. Since you are a Rooney, what do we think about Mike McCarthy?
I mean, my personal thought is this: like, after taking a day or two to, really think about it. Um, this wasn't the coaching cycle of last year. Like there wasn't a Vrabel and a Ben Johnson out there on the market. Like the hot name was Chris Shula from the Rams, and he didn't get hired by anybody. So who knows how those interviews went? There's been reports saying that he didn't have a good interview, and then there's been reports saying that's false. I have no idea. I wasn't there, obviously. Um, but I think Mike McCarthy develops quarterbacks well, and I think that that is what you're looking to have happen here once we, whoever it ends up being, Will Howard or future draft pick or whoever, you need that guy to be able to develop a quarterback. Our offense has been hard to watch since Big Ben left, and even the end of Big Ben. So we're looking at the offense has been bad since 2019, coming up on 7 years of that. It's been, archaic. It's been stuck in the past, and even though he's an old guy, he does traditionally have pretty good offenses. 2023 Cowboys had the number one offense in the league. So that makes me excited. I think that there's going to be a lot of questions answered between now and the beginning of next season in terms of roster construction. I think that we're probably going to draft wide receivers, maybe sign wide receivers. There might be a couple guys like that have been on the defense forever who aren't there anymore. And I don't know anything about what's going to happen with that, but guys like Cam Hayward might retire now that Tomlin's gone. Guys like TJ Watt might say, I don't want to be here for a rebuild. Jalen Ramsey, same thing. I have no idea. But there could be a lot of turnover. And I do think that the defense, will be a little bit different now that it's not led by Tomlin, maybe less predictable. But I think that it's a hire that I have now gotten excited about because he seems to care so much. Not saying that Tomlin didn't or any of those other guys wouldn't. Everybody wants to win every game, but being from Pittsburgh, I think that he realizes how long the Steelers fan base has been like kind of craving to get out of this mediocrity stage of losing
Yeah.
first round playoff games. And so I think that he's going to do everything he possibly can to make that happen. So we'll see. Who knows who the quarterback's going to be also. Like that's a big part of head coach success. If it's Aaron Rodgers, then, maybe we run it back with all those old guys again one more time and try to get him a couple weapons. If it's Mason Rudolph slash Will Howard slash Malik Willis slash Grant Newsome, who knows? But yeah, that's my thoughts. Sean, you have any thoughts?
Yeah, can you hear me? All right.
Yep, you're good.
Yeah, I'm just saying my 2 cents is this. I saw a stat that was talking about comparing McCarthy and Harbaugh and the fact that they're both the same age. They both have basically the same records, and one hire was apparently amazing and the other was terrible. Like I don't really understand that. So yes, I would have liked a younger guy for how we usually do it, but I think McCarthy's a great guy, and I think he can give us 5+ years at least. So yeah, I like it.
Nickson, I don't want to leave you out of this. Are you excited about the hire of Jesse Minter?
Yeah, I mean, hearing what Sean, especially how he finished his assessment of the Steelers situation, I think the Ravens went the opposite way. They went with youth. They went with a guy that they think is going to be there, for a long time and going to be, kind of the new anchor of the franchise with Jesse Minter. And considering the coaching staff and the assistants that he's hired in place for this upcoming season, um, I know he's a young mind. He's a defensive mind, and he's a guy that has put out good defensive schemes and good defensive teams. The Chargers defense last year was not necessarily world beaters, but they played above expectations of the guys that they had on their roster. But my thing was who's going to be his assistants, who were going to be the guys that were going to be able to help him out. And I feel like that's the part that he's knocked out of the park. Hiring, the offensive coordinator, Declan.
Declan Doyle, you say his name.
Declan Doyle. The what was the name of the guy? He was on the Dolphins.
Weaver.
Weaver. I like Weaver a lot. I think he brings the right mindset. He played for Baltimore. He coached the D line for a couple years. I just think that his group of assistants for this next upcoming year is really good, and he's looking to be the new anchor of the Ravens, and we'll see how it goes. But I like it. I like the hire. I like the direction of the team, and I think it's going to turn out positive.
Yeah, they obviously went the young blood approach there, which I don't blame them really. Although you could say like Harbaugh's not even that old; he was just there forever. Zach Orr was a really young guy. Monken was older; he's been around the block a few times. But get some young minds in there, preach to the guys a little bit, get back to a higher standard because the
I
Ravens
will
standard is pretty high. But I mean, you got to
Yeah.
win.
I will say this, Nickson, and obviously this is completely unfair to him. But he doesn't look like a leader of men to me. I don't know
Mm.
how you feel about that. But like I will say though that like Anthony Weaver was getting head coaching interviews. He seems like he's a leader of men.
Yeah,
Or
that
maybe
seems very Dennis Allen like to me, where you get a guy in there who's been around and he's obviously a leader, like a commander kind of guy, and have that in your ear, give you some game management tips during the game, kind of
yeah.
kind of take a little bit of the load off.
And
Yeah,
maybe
no, I mean, I agree with you, Tommy. I can see that. But listen, Sean McVay doesn't really look like a leader of men, and that guy can coach his
no,
ass
yeah.
off. So.
No, that's true. Like, I don't know. It's weird. I was thinking of like other examples of that to like prove my point wrong. Like Sean McVay at least is like jacked. So you kind of have like a little bit, you have a little bit more like, okay, like if he's yelling at me, he's like veins are popping out of his neck and shit. Like Jesse Minter kind of looks like a guy that works at the fishing section of Dick's Sporting Goods. Um, and like you could kind of say the same thing. Like Mike McDonald for the Seahawks doesn't really look like a leader of men guy either. And obviously
Yeah,
he's
but he's got that really stout, like stocky football guy
yeah.
kind of build to him that and steals a little bit. You can pull up clips from 2 years ago of me like shitting on like the prospect of Ben Johnson, saying like he's just a whiz kid nerd and who calls plays and that fascinates everyone. I was
Yeah.
proven completely wrong, and I'm just so bought in now.
Yeah, I mean, like, and like we saw this too with Miami. Like, Mike McDaniel does not look like a leader of men either, and he is a great play caller and offensive mind. So, it might be better for him to end up just being a coordinator somewhere. Um, but I don't know. Like, it's not really fair because, like, if Mike McCarthy or Andy Reid was like super skinny, would we say they look like good leader of men, or are we just saying that because they're fat? Like, I don't know. It's a
That's
hard.
that's the best part of being like the meathead kind of fans, though, is that you can make assumptions like that. It's like we're not in that 53 man changing room where you're looking at that coach and you're listening to him for 60 hours a week talking to you. Like I just envision thinking like Mike McCarthy's holding a team meeting. You're just like, God, that guy's big.
Yeah. I don't
And
know. I mean, like, I obviously like he was really good in Los Angeles for the Chargers last year. Their defense was really good. So it makes sense. And he's young, so he can be there for 20 years like Harbaugh was. So we'll see how it plays out. But he doesn't seem like a, Steelers Ravens last game of the year. It's very cold and teams are hitting their asses off type of leader guy. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, how
Yeah.
does he look in the cold? That's a big thing. Like my guy BJ there was negative weather games at Soldier this year, and he did not rock a beanie once.
He was in
And
DC a couple years in college, and they beat Ohio State at a few snow games. Just putting that out there. Not
Okay.
saying
Yeah.
I love the hire. I'm just saying that he is proven.
that is true. He is a Michigan guy.
That is true. I forgot about that. His whole Michigan. Yeah.
He kind of looks like Connor Stallions too, just a little bit. Um, but yeah, I mean, we kind of beaten down the coaching
I
carousel
will
here.
say one
Oh,
one one quick point on Buffalo. It's a little surprising to me that they went with Joe Brady. Like I'm not saying he's not like a great coach because
that
their offense
shocked
is,
me.
yeah, their offense has been solid since he took over, but like how much of that is Josh Allen? Um and like, it's not like McDermott was like the problem necessarily, unless there's, stuff that we don't know, but like if you're looking like to maximize this like, 4 or 5 years that you have Josh Allen in his prime, you got to pick a guy right now that you think is going to be the guy that's going to win you a Super Bowl. And I don't know if it's a guy like Joe Brady that's going to do it. So I
That
was kind
seemed
of
weird to me overall, because like the whole thing of firing McDermott was like obviously like it wasn't like a scheme thing or any of that, and like his abilities as a coach, it seemed like okay, like he's good, but we're just not getting the job done here, and that seemed like you need like some sort of culture shift, and then you hire from within. It just seemed really really odd to me.
it did. Maybe there's something that we don't know,
There
but
always is.
I think they canned him because the entire team was crying their asses off after they lost in the round two. It's like, dude, you guys still needed to win two more games. And the owner was like, "All right, we got to change some stuff around here." I'm not sure how their GM, maintained.
Yeah, that's also surprising because
Very
like
Because
if you
he
look,
picked Keon Coleman, and remember that
yeah,
they were
if you look
flamed.
at their drafts, he's not produced very much great picks there.
No,
But
and they blamed someone for drafting Keon Coleman while he's on the
They
team. It's a
blame
little
the
bit of a mess.
coach.
yeah, they
Yeah,
blame
I,
the
I would not be surprised if this is like if that was the peak for Buffalo because I don't really see it going up from there, especially with like I said, hiring from within. But unless anyone else has got anything else to add, we have a game this week. It is Super Bowl 60, I believe 60. Yes, LX. Seahawks Patriots. We've seen it before, not too long ago. We'll get into some data on that matchup here in a moment, but for now, the Seahawks are 4.5 point favorites. Total set at 45.5. Um, we'll go right into it, but I will say I just feel like throughout these playoffs, I feel like we've seen a lot of 45.5 totals and 4.5 spreads. I will hand it to Jake, Nickson, Sean, Tommy, whoever wants to lead off.
I got a shower. Let me jump in right quickly. I am picking the New England Patriots to cover the 4.5 and win the game outright 27-24. Also, give me the over. I am picking Drake May to be the MVP. Yes, they have one of the easiest schedules in the history of football, but they've only lost 3 games all year. They've controlled pretty much all of their playoff games. They've played against great defenses. Yes, in the Broncos game, they had to come back from being down 7-0, and then a snow globe kind of helped them out in the second half, and also Sean Payton's inability to look at the darn Weather Channel during the week. But I guess a backup quarterback. But they found a way to do it. I expect a big game from Drake May. I think he's going to throw for 200, and he's going to run a decent amount as well. They've been saying his shoulder's been a little bit banged up, but I think that he's going to be a big part of this game. And I actually like the Patriots coach slightly better. He's a little bit more experienced. He hasn't coached in one of these games, but he has played in a few of them. So, yeah, I know they're dogs. I know that their schedule's been easy, and Seattle's been through a gauntlet as far as, they played the Rams 3 times. They had to play them twice in the regular season. They played San Fran twice in the regular season, then again in the wild card or in their first playoff game. So Seattle's battle tested. They got great guys on defense. But I think that the underdogs are going to go in there and win the game outright. So give me the Patriots. Are we doing props now too? Can I say those? I kind of got to go.
You can give a couple if you want.
All right, so my props. I got Stephon Diggs anytime touchdown. His girlfriend will be in the building. He's got to put on the show for her. I got Rashid Shaheed anytime touchdown, which is a little scary because he only gets the ball like 2 or 3 times a game, but usually it's for like an 80-yard touchdown. So throw that on there. The color of the Gatorade is going to be blue, just a gut check because both team colors have blue in them. And coin toss, heads or tails?
Gotta be heads.
Tails always fails. So give me heads.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll follow you up there just because I'm going in opposite direction, not on the total, but on the side. Listen, throughout this entire playoff run, and honestly for a lot of the season, I have not had a lot of faith in the Patriots. And I was saying it earlier, talking to some people, they've proven me wrong every step of the way. I'm just still, I get it. Like you are what your record says you are. You got to win this. You got to win. That's all that matters in the end. But just the way the Patriots have done it this season is just so unconvincing. And enter my first piece of data that I said before the show started. There are 2 teams in NFL history. Let me pull out my call sheet here. There are 2 teams in NFL history to win a Super Bowl while having a strength of schedule worse than -4. I know there's some different calculations of strength of schedule, but -4 in this case. Just everyone take my word. It's really bad. And those 2 teams were the 2000 Rams and the 1971 Colts. So yes, it is okay to call the Patriots the schedule Patriots or Drake the schedule May, even though I have nothing against Drake May. I'll get down to business here. I'm gonna say the Seahawks win this game easily. I think the Seahawks win this game by 17. I'll say, I mean, they are probably the most complete football team I've seen this year. I'm not saying, I mean, the Patriots don't really have many weaknesses other than Drake May's had a couple of bad games and their offense hasn't looked great, but it didn't really matter throughout the playoffs. The Seahawks are clicking on all cylinders. Their defense is obviously incredible. They've got dudes everywhere. Mike McDonald's running the show there. There's not much more you can say, just how kind of not perfectly, but it's similar to the Texans in where they don't need to be like so schematically tough and spinning around and mixing and matching. They're they've got the matchups everywhere they want them. They've got the talent on the field. You get the ball somewhere, they're going to come get you. They're not going to miss tackles. They're not going to blow coverages. They're just so fundamentally sound, and having a personal advantage in that situation helps you when you match the two together. Um, and they're physical, which is obviously one of the most important parts of defense, especially in today's NFL, because the scheme can only get you so far. And you would think offensively, there's no way Sam Darnold can be this good 2 years in a row. Well, I don't think he was as good this year as he was last year, but he doesn't really need to be. The Seahawks have playmakers on every single side of that offense. Zach Charbonnet goes down, who was like splitting carries with Kenneth Walker all year, and you're like, who's the real RB1 here? Why is Kenneth Walker a first or second round pick? And then Charbonnet goes down, Kenneth Walker's the guy, and he's been lighting it up. I've always been a big Kenny Walker fan, and when they get that run game going, you take off your focus of guys like JSN and Cooper Cup, and I am expecting a big Cooper Cup game here. I'll get into that with my props. Just expect a touchdown from him. Rashid Shaheed, that I love that addition for so many reasons. Like Jake said, it's like he'll get the ball 2 or 3 times a game, but a lot of the time it's the 2 or 3 most electric plays of the game. I'm kind of just rambling on here about statistics or whatever, but one more piece of data: the AFC is 8-3 against the spread in the last 11 Super Bowls, and the underdog has covered 5 straight Super Bowls, dating back to whatever was 5 years ago. Um, and they are 4-1 straight up. That would heavily favor the Patriots. I think, unless there's any league fuckery or some
What
really
was the spread last year? Because like the fucking Eagles beat the shit out of the Chiefs.
I think it was like 2.5 or something. I think it was pretty tight.
I guess they did score a couple garbage time touchdowns there at the end, but
Yeah, it ended up getting out of hand rather early. But I'll stop rambling here. I'm gonna go the Seahawks. I think they win rather comfortably, unless there's some real fuckery that goes on. No disrespect to the Patriots. I think they're gonna give a fight, but the Seahawks are just too good. They seem unstoppable right now. The Rams were the closest test that they've gotten, at least this playoffs, and throughout the back half of the season almost. And I still think the Rams had, or not the Rams, the Seahawks had control of that game for a lot of it for the most part, and they were the better team. So I'll hand it over to someone else. I'm also taking the over. I do think they'll win comfortably, but I think there'll be points scored. Like I said, I don't doubt the Patriots. I just think the Seahawks are that good. It's less of an indictment on them than it is praise for the Seahawks.
All right, I'll go ahead. I agree with a lot of what Sam said, but um, obviously this is, I have no clue, but I just think that this game is going to be close. I think that the Patriots do a really good job of, someone mentioned before, just controlling the game, just keeping it within arm's distance, making it a fight, making it ugly. And I think they're going to do that again here with the Seahawks. I think both teams are going to lean on their defenses heavily. I feel like there's going to be a lot of a feeling out process. Definitely a first half under type of game in my estimation. Just
I
because
like that.
yeah, just because, like I said, you have two teams that rely heavily on their defenses, two teams that love to run the ball, two teams that are coached very well by defensive-minded head coaches. So I think that the Patriots are going to cover the spread of 4.5, just because I'm thinking this is going to be an under, low scoring, heavily just okay. We're going to play defense, we're going to run the ball, we're going to control the clock. Both teams are going to come in with that mindset. The reason why I'm going to take the Seahawks to win the game outright is just because the simple reason of I think that the outside guys of the Seahawks are going to be able to actually get loose when it's time to get loose. That third and long, where it's desperation time, it's 3rd and 12, we need a first down. I trust JSN and Cooper Cup to get open against Christian Gonzalez, as great as he is, before I trust Kayvon Booty and Stephon Diggs to get open against that nasty Seahawks secondary. There's a number of guys. There's not just one guy. There's so many guys on that secondary that not only could cover, but like Sam mentioned, just are super physical in the run game. You know, their scheme is very simple, just like Sam mentioned. The scheme is very simple, but they have guys that are always in the right spot, very well connected. And this game is going to be just based on who's going to be able to make that play to get us in field goal range in the fourth quarter to ice the game out. So I'm going to take the Patriots to cover the 4.5 point spread just because I think that's what I don't think it's going to be a blowout game, but I think that the Seahawks do win. I think Sam Darnold wins MVP. And I think he also, if we're going to do anytime touchdown and everything, I'm going to take Hunter Henry anytime touchdown for the Patriots. Just 'cause, I don't know. I think a tight end's going to score. I think the Super Bowl always has some weird guy scoring a touchdown that's not supposed to score a touchdown. I think it's going to be Hunter Henry. And I think Sam Darnold oddly runs one in. I don't know whether it'll be a scramble or a QB sneak or whatever. What else did I pick? I took tails for the coin toss.
Oh, you
Uh,
could wait on the other props.
okay.
We're gonna
Yeah,
go
that's
back
it.
around to that. You can throw your touchdowns in though.
All right, well, Sean's in the middle of making his dinner, so I'll go next. I agree with both of you guys, and it's obviously you pick different sides. Or no, Jake, I meant. Um, but yeah, like here's my thoughts on this game. Both these teams have never, in terms of like there might be a couple guys on the roster or whatever. This is the first time that majority of these people have ever played in the Super Bowl before, if not all of them. So like Nickson said, I sent in my 10 picks, earlier today, and one of the ones that I added, which Nickson hit on, is first half under. It's 23.5. I think that this game is going to be, like especially when it's guys like not like Brady and Mahomes, but like other type guys, Jalen Hurts, Jimmy G, people like that. It takes a minute to kind of like set in the fact that you're playing in the Super Bowl, and there's all this hype that leads into it. You're going to be nervous, like this is the biggest stage you could possibly be on in your life. So, like Nickson was talking about, I think that it's going to take a minute for them to set in, and I do think that this game is going to come down to like which most football games do. Who fucks up in the crucial spot? The Cam Newton fumble that changed the entire course of that game. I think that it's going to be the Patriots covering 4.5. Like Sam brought the data with 5 straight times the underdogs covered, but I think the Seahawks are going to win this game. I see that our resident Patriots fan Kobe just
Oh, there he
so I'm
is.
sure he's remote.
Oh,
But yeah, I think the Patriots have a very legitimate chance to win this game. I don't want them to win the game because then they'll have the most Super Bowls of all time, past the Steelers, blah blah blah. They're the evil empire. But I think that Sam Darnold and Drake May are both going to be a little nervous. This is the biggest game that either of them have ever played in. They're both way outperforming what people thought that they were coming into this season. Um, 70% of the money on this game is on Seattle, which is a little surprising to me because 4.5, is not a great betting spread, which is why I'm taking New England to cover. I'm also taking the over in this game. 45.5, like I feel like it'll probably be very close to that. It could be 44, and that's how Vegas gets everybody. But for the sake of why not take it for the show and sprinkle a little money on it in real life, I think that the over is probably more likely than not to hit. If we're doing any time touchdowns right now, I agree with Nickson. I think somebody weird's going to score. My pick is AJ Barner, tight end for Seattle. I could just see that happening for whatever reason. Mike Tirico, Chris Collinsworth saying this game's on NBC. By the way, shout out NBC. If you live in Montana, my package will run immediately following the Super Bowl.
Yeah, hit your boy up.
Yeah. Anyways, I think that he will score, and I also think that Cooper Kupp will score. We know that Cooper Kupp performs well in the Super Bowl, former Super Bowl MVP with the Rams. I think that they're going to be, obviously they've had 2 weeks prepared for this game, and they've seen the film on JSN. He's probably the best receiver in the league this year, and I think that's going to free up a Cooper Kupp touchdown. They like to go to him in the end zone, in the red zone, I mean. And he's been on this stage before, so I think he'll be one of those guys that is a little more settled in off the go than most. Yeah, I guess I'll just throw this one in here too because it's not like a fun one. Rashid Shaheed, his over under yards is 21.5. I think
Whoa, wait on those until after.
okay, never mind. Wait on that one. But
Yeah,
give me the Patriots to cover. Seahawks are going to win over first half under. Those are the picks.
Welcome, Kobe.
Thank you, thank you. Sorry about my late appearance. I was at work all day, and then I had to deal with calling all my family members back that said
Happy birthday,
after me.
Kobe.
Yeah,
Happy
happy
birthday.
birthday to Kobe.
boy.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Um, so right now, I won't go. Should I go on my Patriots right now, or should I wait till the next whatever we're doing after this?
No, you can go on. You can go on. We're picking the game right now, and we're just gonna do some prop talk after this.
Okay, so I'll save my props for after. Obviously, I'm taking Patriots spread. I think this is going to be a field goal game. Um, I heard we were talking about a little bit of some touchdowns, so I will say Demario Douglas first touchdown and Matt Collins anytime touchdown are two props I really like. Matt Collins been a big, tough guy, made big plays. He gets our team going. He's a good leader in our locker room, and we always have a random receiver score. It was Brandon LaFell. It was Amendola before. Like we always have like a Brandon LaFell type of guy score in the Super Bowl. I believe it's going to be Matt Collins and Demario Douglas this year. But I like us to win. Obviously, all we're going to hear for 2 weeks, we can't win. We can't beat the Seahawks. Well, guess what? Tom Brady in his second year, first Super Bowl ever.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Underdogs. 14-point underdogs to the greatest show on turf. Beat them as 14-point underdogs. They played in a snowstorm AFC championship. But Tuck rule, AFC championship. All I'm saying is, love to hear that we're underdogs. Love to hear that everyone's doubting us. They kind of game where Miami, all they heard 2 weeks is Mendoza's Heisman. Indiana's going to beat them. And although they lost, they came out absolutely swinging. And they were a Carson Beck away from winning that game. So I like that we're a young team. And when you tell a bunch of young kids they can't do something, what do they go ahead and do but try to do it? Mike Vrabel's been in Super Bowls before, so I realized you couldn't see me.
No, it makes
I think
the
he's
rant
going to
better.
prep the team phenomenally. That's the rant in the dark. But I really like our odds. I really like that everyone's counting us out. When I like our team like that. I'll save my props for later, but I like the Patriots. I like the over. People talk about the quarterbacks being iffy, which I think they'll be shaky at first, but I really feel like the defenses are going to have they're preparing for each other for 2 weeks. I think both teams are going to come up with you got McDaniels, you got Kubiak, Kublik, whatever,
Kubiak.
whatever
Yep,
the offensive
Kubiak.
coordinator for the Seahawks is. Kubiak. I think that they know that they got two top defenses and that they're going to be game planning. So I think both teams are going to come with some different stuff not they're normally used to, not you're going to see on film. So I think it's a slow start. I think first half under and total game over. I know that sounds crazy.
What's
I
crazy
love
is
it.
before
Yeah,
you got on, we
Patriots-
literally all said that.
Yeah,
shit.
Nickson and I are both on
Literally everybody
Okay.
said that shit.
Perfect. So it's not that crazy. But yeah, Patriots, doubt us all you want. I love it. We're good. Listen, I would take us -4.5. Screw the +4.5. I take us -4.5. I'll save my props for when we talk about props. But shout out Christian Gonzalez for catching the ham sandwich of the century from Jared Stidham. That was electric. And go Pats.
Yeah, as a pod, we are all extremely disappointed in Jarrett Stidham. Nothing against the Pats, but we expected a lot more from him. And we thought after his first drive bomb that got him down to the 5-yard line, we're like, all right, we might see it. And he threw one of the worst interceptions I've seen. But,
Blame the media. Blame the media. The media
I
try to
will.
convince everyone Jared Stidham is good.
We are the better media, and well, I guess we did say Jarrett Stidham is good. So, Sean, if you can hear me. Oh, you can hear me. Let's go.
Sam, Kobe,
You're on
happy
deck.
birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I've been hearing what everyone's been saying. I obviously am in the same boat as Tommy. Do not want the Patriots to win and have the most Super Bowls. But that's not just me being biased. I think the Seahawks, like everyone else has been saying, 70% of the bets on the Seahawks for a reason. they're the much more established team, even if Sam Darnold was a nobody 2 years ago. They have a much better roster. I will be taking them -4. I think game's gonna end in a kneel down, which is prop bet I'm gonna get into later. But I think it's gonna be at least a 7-point game. So give me the Seahawks -4.5.
All right. Everyone has given their game pick. So that was the last official game spread pick of the season. So congrats to us. Shout out to all of us. I was going through all the records. Some of us were damn near over 100 picks all the time. Kobe took like a spread over and a touchdown in every single game we did this year. So shout out to us for grinding through the season.
And still finished top 3.
He did that. He did. We had some pretty crazy climb ups in the rankings. Tommy being one of them. There was a point where he just took like every single thing you could find on DraftKings every week in an attempt to rally. He did. Nickson's symbolically the Ravens lost, which lost him taking over first place from me. So I wasn't too mad about that one. But yeah, just thank you for following along on the journey this year. Thank you to the boys for submitting the cards. Let's have some fun or talk about some fun things with some props, whether that be touchdowns, Gatorade color, Bad Bunny songs, whatever anybody wants. We are here just to give you some good value picks, whatever the odds may be. And I'll start with 2 because I didn't give them during my game pick. A JSN anytime touchdown is at -110. You got to throw that on there. I know it's like Super Bowl. You want to win $1,000 on $10, but like, come on, he's gonna score. He's the OPOY. That's got to happen. I also have at +1,300 Cooper Kupp for the first touchdown. I am a self-proclaimed first touchdown guru. I started like 5 weeks in a row of hitting every single one on Sunday Night Football. Pretty much something like that. But Cooper Kupp, we were talking about him earlier. I know Tommy, I think, said that he had him for an anytime touchdown. He's just like a great Super Bowl player, even though this is, I think, his second or third one that he's been to. But what?
His third Super Bowl, yeah.
Yeah, it was because he did go the first one with the Rams. But I feel like he's a very, not comparing the two apples to apples, but a very Keenan Allen kind of guy where he's quarterback friendly, and in a big moment, Sam Darnold hasn't played in the Super Bowl and whatever. It's like he's kind of guy who's going to run around, be on the same page as the quarterback, be with the quarterback, give him an easy option to throw to, kind of make his life a little bit easier. So I think he'll be a pretty dependable target throughout the game. And I think Clint Kubiak's going to be focusing on him. And then I'll just throw in one more. And I got a couple left over. I'll open it up. The odds for a flea flicker to be just attempted, not even succeed, is +200. There's totally going to be a flea flicker. When you got a West Coast guy or like a established West Coast guy like Clint Kubiak, straight out of that Shanahan McVay kind of thing, they love pulling out their tricks in the Super Bowl, the big games. And I could even see Josh McDaniels dialing up something like that. Flea flickers have been kind of big this year. Well, I'm also going heads for the coin toss. Anyone else got any good ones for me?
How many people have picked the Patriots since I was last on?
Oh, just one.
Not a lot.
I did.
Well, spread. I did. Tommy did.
Yeah.
Kobe did.
Guys,
I
have
think
some
they
faith
covered.
in the underdogs. I mean, come on.
I think they cover. I think it's going to be close.
I had the hot take that it's going to be a blowout for the Seahawks, but I mean, you never really know. I could really see this being just a really Patriots piss everyone off kind of
See,
game.
listen, I had to rush my take, so let me give you a more entitled one as I walk to my establishment.
Okay.
Would anybody be surprised if Darnold came out and had 2 or 3 turnovers? Would anybody be like, that's shocked?
I wouldn't be surprised if he had 4 or 5 turnovers.
That's what I'm saying. Like, by the way, I'm a Vikings guy. I'm happy for him. My team looks dumb. They canned the GM because we let him walk and we traded up for my boy 9. But he's still, Patriots got good corners. Vrabel's a defensive coach. I think they're going to force a turnover or 2 minimum. And so that's why if you're a big Seattle bettor, and Tommy mentioned earlier that the majority of the money's on Seattle, That's something that would concern me.
Well, a good prop for you that you said that, Jake, is a quarterback to throw or starting quarterback to throw an interception in the red zone is plus. I could easily see Sam Darnold throwing a red zone interception. Although I don't know if the ball has to be inside the 20 or you throw it into inside the 20, but
I think it's ball inside the 20 and then he throws it. It's not like if you're in your own side of the field and he throws a Hail Mary and that's picked off. I don't think that'll count.
I still think it's very possible. And there's also a line on them to attempt a pass at or within inside of the Patriots 1 yard line.
Oh God. Oh God. I hope
Which
they
is
don't do
plus
that
550.
Oh fuck. I think you thought the ice raids were bad. If Seattle does some shit like that again, that shit would be fucking crazy. Oh my God.
Dude, could you imagine if it comes down to that situation with like a minute left and they got first and goal on the 1, but now this time like they don't have a freakish running back.
Dude, that
They got all
actually
these speedy
terrible.
receivers and JSN. Now it's like, well, we kind of have the personnel that would allow us to throw that slant, but
God, could you? That would be my worst nightmare as Clint Kubiak to be in that position because you can't unless if you fail on either side, there's no winning out of that. It's like if you throw it and it doesn't work, it's like you fucking idiot. You couldn't learn. You couldn't learn like the most infamous play in Super Bowl recent Super Bowl history. You couldn't learn. And then if
dude,
if he runs it and it doesn't work, it's like well you idiot. They knew it was coming.
no, what they're gonna do, bro. You know good and well that Kubiak's telling Darnold, yo, if you throw a pass inside the 5, it's either gonna be caught or it's gonna be in like the stands. Do not throw a ball that might get picked off at all.
I believe it.
All right, I'll do my props. So I've got, like I said earlier, kind of teased it. Rashid Shaheed, his over under is 21.5 receiving yards. That like Nickson said, or somebody said, he only gets the ball a couple times a game. Like they're usually deep shots or like trick plays or something like that. Could be a flea flicker to Rashid Shaheed. So I think he'll get over 21.5 yards. Also, Sam Darnold MVP. If the Seahawks win, like I think they will, it'll probably be him more likely than not. Although there was that one year, and I don't remember his name. The year that the Seahawks won the Super Bowl, it was like a linebacker who had a pick six.
Yeah, Browner or whatever.
No, Smith. His last name was Smith. I forget his first name.
Malcolm
Bruce Smith. Bruce Smith.
No, Bruce Smith was a defensive end, I think.
Is it not?
No,
I remember when
you're thinking of Bruce Irvin, Tommy.
I remember when they announced that. I'm like, did they mean to say Bobby Wagner? Who the hell is this linebacker? And then it's like, oh yeah, because Peyton Manning threw like 3 picks that game. It was wild.
Anyways,
keep going.
No, I was just gonna say, like there's a world where it could be JSN, but I feel as though like he's probably gonna, be heavily locked in on Keita and on by the defense of the Patriots. So I feel like he won't have like a 170-yard game, which would, be able to, unless he made like San Antonio Holmes won the MVP, the Steelers won the Super Bowl because he had the game-winning catch, like maybe a situation like that. But it'll probably be Sam Darnold if the Seahawks win. So I've got that. And then, like Sean said, I've got last play to be a QB kneel. I think that happens more often than not because it's like, what do you gain from trying to run the ball just to run the clock out? It's like just kneel on it a bunch of times. So yeah, those are my like actually involved in the game picks, and then I've got, which I feel like this is like literally the best bet that you can get for. Jesus Christ! Sorry, my cat just knocked something down. I feel like this is the best thing that you can get on the market, game related or otherwise. And I don't know what books that are on. I saw it on FanDuel though. Cardi B to be shown over 1.5 times. So all she has to do is be shown twice. They're going to show her one time regardless because she's going to be at the game. And then if Stephon Diggs makes a catch that's important on 3rd down or scores a touchdown, they're going to show her celebrating again. So there's your 2 times right there. And then there's also, she's the favorite right now to be the like surprise guest that gets brought out for the halftime show. So that could be right there too. They'll show her multiple times during that. I feel like that's the easiest bet that you could possibly get. So
I didn't even think about that. She does have a song with Bad Bunny.
So I feel like that is
she'll be there. It cuts down logistical costs.
Even if like she isn't in the halftime show, they're going to show her 2 times at least. So anyway, they showed Taylor Swift like 15 times last year, and the year before that. But after that, I've got Gatorade Color Purple That's my favorite color, and I believe that like like somebody said like oh both teams have blue. Like I remember when the Chiefs won a couple years ago, it was purple, and obviously they don't have purple, so it could be whatever. It's just whatever the guys like, and I feel like purple's the best flavor, so I'm going that. And then coin, I've got tails. I don't know if we're doing that yet. My bad, Sam.
Oh
Um,
yeah, you can throw that in whenever.
yeah, so I've got tails on that. Just I feel like the safe pick is to do heads because I feel like that's what happens most times. But hey, I'm going tails. Value pick. And then I will not lie. I'm not very versed in Bad Bunny's music. I'm not anti Bad Bunny like some of the people who didn't show up for the show today, maybe in protest of the halftime.
Andrew.
But I do know one song which I learned this week after watching the Grammys. It's called DTMF, and it's a banger. It goes, and there's like a chorus with like like a crowd singing in it. So I feel like that'd be a good one to end on. So I have that as the last song of the halftime show. So those are my picks. I think that when you get into like the Charlie Puth singing the national anthem, I thought about him holding that last word for more than 3.5 seconds. I could see that, and then I started to sing it myself, and I'm like, I don't know, it's right on that 3.5 second line. So I didn't really love that one, but yeah, I think that the Cardi B one, I might put $1,000 on that.
Yeah, now that you say that, I agree with Nickson. I am a little convinced. Also, I kind of quit with the national anthem thing because it feels like it's making way too easily tampered with. The Gatorade one is also interesting because I had originally put red down on my sheet here, but it's never been red ever. So I switched it to purple. I think I've done it a few times. Shout out Gonzaga, got his purple. I kind of like it, and I think we always look at the Gatorade color wrong. People think at it in in this order of what's the most popular Gatorade and is the team color association. They don't care about that. The Gatorade on the sideline is what the guys like to drink. And so if I were a high ranking media member with a credential, I would go up to Mike Vrabel. I'd go up to Mike McDonald. I'd go up to what seems like the coolest guy on each team and be like, what are the boys drinking on the sideline? Or you can go in a different route and say, it's the fullest tank that they throw. So it could be the least liked Gatorade. Maybe everyone just really loves red Gatorade, so the tank is always gone by the end of it. But I'm gonna go purple. I think it's been purple in a while, which means guys really must love purple Gatorade. It is really good, I'll say. I'm a purple red. I also like all kinds of Gatorade, but I had a couple more that I left off, and I don't know why I didn't say this one with the flea flicker was over 2.5 players to attempt a pass. It's the Super Bowl. Like I think we're 2 or 3 years running with hitting this now. Last year, a single Kenny Pickett incompletion hit this. So shout out Kenny Pickett. Open invite for you. I'm not sure how the Roonies feel about that, but
So Sam, this is 2.5 like between both teams.
between both teams. So Sam
Okay.
Darnold and Drake May count as two.
Okay, got you. Yeah, I
Yeah,
like that.
any sort of player pass, and the odds on that are plus 160, which I think is pretty favorable for
Yeah.
that. And then
Maybe
there
we
was
get a what's the Alabama quarterback's name that's on the Seahawks? Jalen Milrow. Jalen Milrow passed to him.
oh, dude, could you imagine? Because that kid can run like the wind. If they've got a little package drawn up to have him like out there, and you're thinking QB draw,
They have
whatever.
used him like in a package earlier
Yeah,
this year.
and then they have him like run out like it's a sprint option or something, and then he finds it doing a long ball. That's Clint. I hope you're listening to this. You put the Bible down for a second and tune in because we're giving you some good tips here. But then I had seen this on Twitter a couple times, and I couldn't find it on DraftKings when I was looking today. But apparently, the line for Jake Bobo's receptions is 0.5, and he had a pretty big catch in the NFC Championship game,
He scored a
and
touchdown.
he did have a touchdown, like a pretty big touchdown too. In these games, though everything's open. All right, there's not it's not your typical 1, 2, 3 receiver kind of system here. Guys are going to get thrown in, subs are going to be made in weird times, whatever. I think the line was like plus 150 or something. So I'm going to throw that in there because why not? We love Jake Bobo here. And it's really fun hearing announcers saying the name Jake Bobo. Like, it's really hard for an announcer to fuck that up. I'm really excited. Also, I'm really excited. Shout out NBC for Tarico being on the call. Collinsworth, maybe without a Mahomes kind of thing, he could be all right. So, um, Prove us wrong, Chris. And then there was one more. Oh, yes. So this kind of goes hand in hand with that pick. Is a QB to catch a pass is plus 1,100. In case that intrigues anybody. Listen, I'm just sharing this.
Also could be Jalen Milroe.
Wow.
Oh, it could be Jalen Milroe.
Wow.
Jalen Milroe might win MVP of this game.
I don't know.
In our hypothetical boys upstairs Super Bowl, Jalen Milroe might win MVP.
It'd be funny if we ramble on like this and then like turn back and everything we said is right. But for MVP, Darnold's the favorite for MVP. Drake May is plus 225, JSM 550, Kenneth Walker plus 650, and then you got Ramondre Stevenson plus 2,800. I hate the MVP bet, like unless you're gonna pick like JSN or the quarterback, like it's unless I don't know how to say this. If there is a big influential game deciding play in the Super Bowl or like a game turning play, that player is going to win MVP most likely. If not, it's going to be the winning quarterback. That kind of opens the door. If I see some crazy odds out there for like a Tariq Woolen, Devin Witherspoon, Nick Amenwari, it's someone like that. I mean, Christian Gonzalez. That's like he's like one of the only defenders I know on the Patriots. But like one of those guys to win MVP. Chason. The linebacker?
I think he's edge rusher, but yeah, same thing.
I feel like it'd be harder for an edge unless they got like four sacks.
Unless they did a Von Miller.
Yeah, well that's Drake May likes to fumble the ball.
Drake May does like to fumble the ball. And that could be influential in this as well. I'm glad Kobe's on mute right now, but yeah, I mean I feel like any DB you find in the odds list has good value because a deciding interception basically wins you the Super Bowl MVP. And the odds are ridiculous, and that it just goes to every year I do this where like you load up $50, $100 in your account or whatever, and you throw around $5 and all these fun picks, and you're like, oh, well, it's just nothing, it's just a little $5. And then by the end of it, you're like, well, I just lost $100 betting on quarterbacks to catch passes and Gatorade colors.
Same thing as the Masters, but it's fun.
Exactly. That's what it's for. It's like you just got to set aside a budget for that day and that event, and then let it rip. Kobe, we are doing props. Do you have any? Nickson, I believe you probably.
No, I haven't gone yet. I'll let the birthday boy go first, though.
All right, I appreciate it. Yeah, so I know I was listening to y'all. I just had I didn't want to be making much noise. So yeah, I got a couple props that I like. Some of the fun ones I like. So there's will a Patriots linebacker catch a touchdown for plus 600 or 700? I'm gonna go with yes. Mike Vrabel has caught like 2 or 3 Super Bowl touchdowns, so I can see him scheming that up. Plus, we do that a lot where we put like a linebacker, like a D lineman in at fullback, so I could see a quick little play action. You know, maybe a Vrabel pulls one out from his old playbook or from the Patriots' old playbook. I like the Gatorade to be red. It's like the lowest one, which I think is crazy. Like it has the worst odds. It's like plus 1,400, which is crazy because. I
guess you missed this code, but Sam said that it's never been read before.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I saw at least.
Oh, then yeah, I might have missed that, but yeah, I think it's going to be read. If that's making history, I like history to be made. Sorry, Tommy, I know you picked tails, but I'm going to go with heads just because Matthew Slater, Patriots all-time great special teamer, was very famous for picking heads in the Super Bowl. So I think that it's going to go heads. It worked out a good amount for him, so I think it goes heads. And I don't know enough Bad Bunny songs to pick a Bad Bunny, but I like Charles Woodson to get an interception. Patriots rookie safety. Darnold likes to throw it over the middle a lot, and sometimes his passes, they get tipped. He throws them a little too much, especially when there's pressure. He throws them over a little bit, and there's always like a safety behind. I swear this happens to Darnold so much. There is always like a safety behind him or like behind the receiver or like that when it tips off the receiver's hand that always jumps in and picks it. And I think Charles Woodson has a lot. Not Charles Woodson. I'm talking about like all-time greats over here. Like we have all-time greats.
Yeah, I was like, I've never heard of that. Like, is it like Charles Woodson Jr. or
No. It's his last name is Woodson for sure. But now I'm blanking. It's our rookie safety from Cal. We picked Craig Woodson, not Charles Woodson. Craig Woodson.
I was gonna say Charles Woodson sound really familiar.
No, yeah, Craig Woodson. Sorry, my bad, Craig. If you're out there listening, that's on me. Craig Woodson. You know what? Actually, screw it. Back to my old pick. Charles Woodson's unretiring. He's suiting up. No, I'm kidding. But Craig Woodson to get a pick. It's like plus like 1,000, like 10,000 or something. I like it. I think they're probably going to stay away from Gonzalez. I think Carlton Davis is done pretending to be good. So I think that one of our safeties is going to get it. I like Woodson to do it over Hawkins. And I also like, I know you guys have all been preaching Cooper Kupp, but I also like his under on yards because what I've heard from Patriots Twitter is that Gonzalez is going to match up with Kupp and JSN is going to be double teamed by David Carlton Davis with a safety over top. So I think Kupp might unfortunately he'll make a play or two, but I think he
Oh,
unfortunately
that just means Texas route to Walker and AJ Barner up the middle
that might be what it means.
and
But
post to Shaheed.
that's what I'm saying. That definitely could mean that, but I think Cup might score something. But I think his under is going to go. And did I have one? Oh yeah, and then obviously Drake May Super Bowl MVP. I mean, they're going to give Stafford his stupid lifetime achievement award, even though Drake May deserves MVP 100% more. So he'll just take Super Bowl MVP instead. But those are my props. I love y'all boys. I have dinner reservations at 8:30. It's 8:15. So I do have to get out of here. But Patriots are winning. Take those props if you like free money. If you don't like money, take Sam's picks. And if you're
First place here, pal.
sorry. And if you're really feeling charitable, take Tommy's picks. Just kidding. But I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Pats are gonna win. And
Happy
thank you,
birthday,
boys.
Go.
Thank you,
birthday,
Happy
Go.
birthday, buddy.
Appreciate it. Love y'all.
Now it's time for Nickson, and he can't rebut Kobe because Kobe just dipped out.
Well, listen. So I got some fun ones, and I will say, I am dating a Latino woman, so I do have insider information on Bad Bunny for the viewers.
Clip
So
it.
here,
Clip it,
so
chat.
here, so here we go. We got Gatorade color for me is going to be orange. I know that's probably one of the more popular answers because I feel like it's orange pretty frequently. But going based on what Sam said, if it is based on like, hey, look, that's the one they drink the least. I also hate orange Gatorade, so I think it's going to be orange again. I'm going tails on the coin toss. I know we've all been heads, and I'm just gonna. I don't know why. I just think it's gonna be tails. Um, I think the first Bad Bunny song is going to be. Hold on. Let me make sure I pronounce this shit right. Titi mi pregunta. It's
Hell yeah.
the one. Yeah, Titi me pregunta, and then the last song is definitely going to be DTMF, like Tommy said.
Let's
Uh,
go.
because that's the song about Puerto Rico and all that stuff, and it's definitely going to be some ICE implications
Oh
there.
yeah.
So there's definitely going to that song is going to be last. It's going to be a big political statement and all that stuff. So, what else? What else was it? What was another fun one I saw? I was looking at stuff. Let me see. Um, I'm taking. I think there will be a defensive touchdown.
I like that.
Defensive touchdown. Well, it's defense or special team. So maybe Rashid Shaheed does it again and takes one back to the crib on a punt or a kickoff return.
I thought about that too. I think that, like having a kick return or kicker punt return touchdown, the odds were pretty good.
That was it. That was all I had. I didn't go too crazy.
Yeah, I mean we had a good amount of props on there for the listeners, and I wish there was a prop on Stephon Diggs' arraignment was delayed until after the Super Bowl. If they win or lose, they just come and snatch him up on the field.
That's right after the game. He just gets arrested immediately.
He's like hugging Vrabel and like his kids and everything. Cops just come and tackle him in the middle of the field.
You're under arrest, buddy. Was that for the domestic violence or some shit?
No, there was yeah, because
Regulation.
chef or whatever. Yeah, I think it was a chef.
Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah,
That guy's a
Strangling
fucking-
is bad.
yeah.
But,
No,
I
you
mean,
can't
hey,
do
This is
that.
America. Guilty or innocent proven until proven guilty. We don't.
Yeah, but damn, dude.
Not a good thing to be accused of, though, for sure.
Yeah, in the court. This isn't the court of law here. This is the T-bus court, and we can announce you guilty at any moment.
Well, actually, the guy who got into the fight with DK at the Lions game just sued Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco for defamation. So might want to be careful with that. But
Shit.
You know, once we hit 100,000 subscribers, I would open myself up to defamation suits. I don't know. I don't
probably
know what
fine.
the terminology is there, but yeah, Stephon Diggs will let the courts do their work, but he does have an arraignment to get to. Don't wanna close it on that.
I'll say this: it's been a crazy year. This is kind of similar vibes to the Blake Bortles and then Nick Foles in the Super Bowl year. I think that it's also been a crazy year. Like Steelers and the Ravens both have new head coaches, and we were here through all of it. And we're in this. I don't know how many weeks it is now, like 24 or whatever. But yeah, or 20. I don't know. Whatever the math is. 18 plus 4, 22. Yeah, it's been a hell of a year. Shout out to Sam once again for leading us through. Sean, did you give your props already or no?
No, yeah. All right. So let me give my take here. Mid dinner. So like I said earlier, I think the Seahawks are gonna win, and because of that, I think they're gonna get the ball, come out hot, and Kenneth Walker's gonna score the first touchdown of the game, which is plus 365. So good money right there. Giving it to your running back, score touchdowns, pretty common. I'm taking tails off that, following Tommy. It never fails. And then I love my tight end, so I'm gonna give Hunter Henry a 2 touchdown game, which is plus 2,200.
Whoa!
Yeah, big game for him. And off of that note, I think the Pats are actually gonna have a couple touchdown lead at halftime. So Pat's alternate spread minus 3.5 is plus 260, which I think isn't that shocking. I was remembering a couple games ago when they came out hot against the Bills, and everyone was thinking they had it, and then the Bills came back and upset them. But yeah, and then I'm gonna take Darnold and May to each have 25 passing completions, which is plus 2,000, which I don't really think that's that like hard to get to. But yeah, 25 passing completions for the both of them, plus 2,000. And then I saw this one, which is probably getting a little out there, but JSN to break the record for most completions, which is 15, which is plus 5,500. So yeah.
So JSN 15 receptions.
You got a couple $1 million.
That was
Yeah.
as the last slate of prop picks. That might have been the best one.
JSN 15 receptions. I'm gonna put 10,000 on that.
You're either so stupid or Sean could make you like $25 million off of that.
I wonder who had.
Yeah, that's a couple million if you parlay those.
Oh my god, if you parlay it. I might have to.
James White, running back of the Patriots, had 14 receptions in 2017 in the Super Bowl. That's crazy.
So he has the
Was that
record.
the Falcons? Was that the Falcons Super Bowl?
Yeah.
He had 14 receptions as a running back?
I mean, they just kept checking it down to him in the second half and then came
Holy
back.
shit. Bro, Kenneth Gainwell, if the fucking Steelers made the Super Bowl, he would have broke that shit in the first half.
Oh yeah, he would have had 20 in the first.
He would have had 20 in the first half. Holy shit.
100%.
Oh yeah, well, thank you to Sean for cutting off Tommy's little message there, but I'll follow him up. Thank you guys thank you for anyone who's been watching to be along all year. It's been a pleasure, a joy of mine to do this, to run the show a little bit, put some twists on it, and just grind it out week in, week out. I mean, I'm really no different than Mike McDonald here. I see my children for 30 minutes a week. And then I go and keep game planning at home. So that's just how it works. And enjoy the Super Bowl, enjoy the rest of football, and then we'll be back before you know it. Have some stuff during draft season, possibly, if you snake drafts here and there, maybe some baseball stuff, hockey, who knows.
We got basketball too.
I was
We do
about to
have
say the
basketball.
trade deadline was crazy.
Sixers are hot right now.
Yes, they
I can
are.
moderate a basketball podcast. I cannot contribute. But yeah, thank you everyone, and let's have a hell of a Super Bowl week here, or back half of Super Bowl week, and enjoy the game, and let's make some goddamn money. Like and subscribe.
All
Tell your
George is
friends.
on drugs.